Do you remember the other day where I've mentioned that you need to stop moving your Dascoins from your vault to the hot wallet? I'm going to explain exactly why right now, and also talk about something extremely powerful that can multiply the number of Dascoins that you have. Let's go. What's up everybody, it's Arthur here coming to you with Dascoin Academy, your best source of news and education on Dascoin. Guys, first of all, slightly different scenery today, could get a little bit noisy at times, hopefully not, but just in case, bear with me. The most important thing is watch this to the very end and every single bit. Do not skip. If you are part of Dascoin already, this is going to be very important. Probably one of the most important videos that you get to ever watch. Another one, if you're not with Dascoin just yet and you wonder which license to purchase, this is also very much relevant to you. Okay, guys, for this to make sense, I do actually have to go back to the white paper of the company. Of course, there's going to be an update early next week, but we're going to use what we have today. I believe it is page 11. I'm going to cover 4 different sections there, and I'm going to be talking about deep vault contracts. Guys, bear with me. This is extremely important. You've got to understand, because this will have an impact of how many Dascoins you're actually going to have if you decide to go for this option. Okay, let's go. So we're going to start from the very top. Deep vault contract. A deep vault contract is a smart contract that exists on the Dascoin blockchain. It requires the owner of a web wallet vault to transfer a certain number of Dascoins to deep storage for an agreed upon period of time. The term of the contract. In deep storage, the Dascoins are not able to be transferred until the term has expired, and it will be automatically transferred back to the original vault unless the contract holder agrees to roll over the balance for another term. As an incentive for agreeing to store a certain amount of Dascoins, the owner of the Dascoins is provided a share of a reward pool. Reward proceeds are distributed directly from the Dascoin blockchain into the deep vault of the contract holder. Each initial deep vault contract is worth 1 share of the reward pool, and the reward is shared among all the current contract holders during that period. There are 3 different types of deep vault contracts. Each requires a different qualifying transfer, a different commitment term, and each provides a different reward pool. Each also entitles the contract holder to a certain amount of voting influence in the system. Guys, every single bit of it, it's very important and you really need to be paying attention. Just rewatch it. Actually, to be honest, you can just go and access the white paper. Page 11, read that again until it really sinks in. But you've got this in front of you on the screen right now, so hopefully you can see. Now, the very first one, voting contract. This contract requires 10,000 Dascoins to be committed for a period of 2 years. As previously, as the section above states, you cannot touch it. Once you move your Dascoins, 10,000 of them, you cannot touch them. The reward pool for this contract is an additional 10% of all the Dascoin minted each week and is distributed on a weekly basis. There is no limit to the number of voting contracts a person or entity can hold. Now, ledger contract. This contract requires 100,000 Dascoins to be committed for a period of 3 years. The contract holder must also run 10 ledger nodes to be qualified to participate in the ledger reward pool. The system will verify that these nodes have been active throughout the period prior to distributing the contract holder's share of the reward. The reward pool for this contract is an additional 6% of all the Dascoin minted in a 2-week period and is distributed every 2 weeks. There is no limit to the number of ledger contracts a person or entity can hold. I'm going to go back to all of these, and actually I'm going to have them on the flip chart so that it will make sense. So just bear with me. Master contract. This contract requires 1 million Dascoin to be committed for a period of 5 years. The contract holder must also run a master node to be qualified to participate in a master reward pool. The system will verify that this node has been active throughout the period prior to distributing the contract holder's share of the reward. The reward pool for this contract is an additional 3% of all Dascoin minted in a 3-week period, and it's distributed every 3 weeks. There is a limit of 3 master contract per person, entity, or related parties. I'm going to talk about the rollover a little bit later, towards the end, because that will then fill you in. Okay, guys, let's go and really get this show on the road, because this got me. Over the last few days, I've been studying this to a much greater extent than ever before, and this really got me excited. Okay, guys, so voting contract, the amount is 10,000. For the ledger, it's 100,000. That's how many Dascoins you need to commit, and this is 1 million for the master contract. The term, you've got 2 years here, you've got 3 years here, you've got 5 years here. The reward, this is 10%, as per all the information in there, and then you've got 6% here, and you've got 3% here. Okay, now how often? So every week you get your reward. Every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Let's do it like this. Running out of space. Number of payouts. This is very important. So, if this contract is valid for 2 years and they pay you once a week, how many times will they pay you? In a year, you've got 52 weeks. So that's 52 payments because they pay you every week. So that's over a period of 2 years. That's, of course, is going to be twice that amount. So it's going to be 104 times you will receive your reward from the voting contract. Now, this one, ledger. 3 years. 3 years, that's 52 times 3. So you've got 156. And they pay you every 2 weeks. So that means that there will be 78 payouts. This one, 5 years, so that's 260 weeks altogether. We're going to divide that by 3, so that's 86.66. We're going to round it down, so that's going to be 86 payouts. Now, this really got me excited. Guys, this, although the text seems pretty straightforward, I've got to put a disclaimer here. This is my interpretation, because the numbers look crazy, crazy good. So I'm hoping that this is the case. We, of course, will be clarifying this over the coming weeks and months. But this is super exciting, absolutely massive. Okay, guys. Now, I may actually have a separate page for this. Just very briefly, I'm going to talk about the rollover. We'll come back to this page, of course. So, Dascoin produces. I hope that the sharpness is there. Dascoin produces 10,500 Dascoins, so DASC, every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, Dascoin produces this many, the blockchain of Dascoin produces this many Dascoins. So, every week, so you can multiply that by 6, then you're going to have every hour. You can multiply by 24, you're going to have every day. And multiply that by 7, you're going to have every week. So every week, they produce 10,584,000 Dascoins. I hope that this isn't too bright. I hope that you can see it clearly. So that's how many Dascoins. Let me just quickly correct that. That should be a little bit better. So, that's how many Dascoins are being produced every single week. So now, we can multiply that. So this is going to be for the voting. That's going to be the base. If we're talking about the ledger, we need to multiply that by 2 because they pay out every 2 weeks. If we're talking about master, we need to multiply that by 3. And then multiply that by the percentage. Let's skip that section. You can do it again. So you've got 10,584,000 that is being produced every week, total Dascoins, and 10% of those go into the voting. So that means that in each pool, every single week, new Dascoins coming in, that's 1,058,400 Dascoins. Every single week, this pool voting for voting contract receives 1,058,400 Dascoins from the Dascoin blockchain. This pool, every 2 weeks, because that's how often Dascoins go into this pool, receives 1,270,080 Dascoins. Again, I'm multiplying, so that's how many Dascoins are being produced every week. I've multiplied that by 2, and then I timed by 6%. So 6% of the total production over a 2-week period, 6% of that is this amount. And 3% of the total Dascoins production every 3 weeks is 952,560. That's how many Dascoins will go into the master ledger pool every 3 weeks. That's how many Dascoins. Now, examples here. Again, my interpretation. I'm going to switch the marker to red. Let's say, again, because of the number of coins, Dascoins required, the assumption that I'm making here is that the bigger the contract, the less people will be participating, will be willing to freeze large amount of their Dascoins. Actually, to be precise, you're moving them away from your vault into a separate deep storage. You're moving your Dascoins away, and you cannot touch them for that period of time, 2, 3, or 5 years. So I'm assuming here that this number will be less. Let's say that in a voting, because it's the smallest amount, let's say there are 1,000 people that decide to take up this offer. And there are 1,000 people in this. There are 100 people that will do the ledger, and only 10 people, because again, you need to run your own master node, ledger node for this one, and you can have only 3, etc. You've got those additional. It doesn't matter for now. So a reward each time. So here is what I'm doing here. If this pool receives over 1 million Dascoins, and there are 1,000 people in it, it means that every single person, every week, receives 1,058.4 Dascoins. Every week, you've decided to actually move away 10,000 Dascoins. Every week, they will be giving you 1,058 Dascoins every single week. It's like when publicly trading companies, they've got dividends, where every quarter you get a few shares here and there coming in additionally on top of your stocks and shares that you have. This is a similar thing, dividends. It's that kind of a system, ledger. So now you've got this much, so 1,270,080 altogether. Let me put the zeros correctly. 127,080. Perfect. Got it now. I'm going to divide that by the people in this pool. So we've got 100 people here. Each one, every 2 weeks, will receive 12,700.8 Dascoins. Every 2 weeks, whoever's got a ledger node will receive 12,000. Now, the last one, let's say there are only 10 people. 952,000 Dascoins drop into this pool every 3 weeks. We're going to divide that by 10. That's 95,000 Dascoins, 256. Whoever's got master node will receive 95,000 Dascoins every 3 weeks, just because they have that master node active. Now, let's see how much you're going to get additional in total once this contract expires. Let's say you've decided to move 10,000 Dascoins into this voting contract for a period of 2 years. You know that every week they're going to be giving you extra reward, which is this amount if they have this many people in it. So I'm going to multiply each time when you're receiving the payout by how many payouts you're going to get in total. So I'm multiplying 1,058.4. I'm going to multiply by 104. You're going to get, you ready? 110,073.6 Dascoins. let's do the rest of them, and then we'll quickly talk about this. Nuts, absolutely nuts when I saw this. I've literally had to ring a few people to consult to see whether they see it the same way as I do, and we've got the same answers based on the information that we've got. For this one, for the ledger, it's 3 years, just 1 year longer. Again, 100,000 Dascoins that you decide to freeze, you're going to get extra 990,662.4. Just 1 year more. Just one more year, you have nearly 10 times as from the previous one. Now, last one, master. So each time you're getting 95,000 every 3 weeks, 256. You're going to multiply that by 86, because that's how many payments in total you're going to receive over that 5-year period. You're going to get extra, so you're going to get your 1 million back plus on top. So that's with everything. You're getting this back once the contract expires, plus this amount. This back plus this amount. So 1 million back to you plus 8,192,016. When I saw this, guys, when I saw the numbers, it blew me away. And honestly, I am going to be verifying this. To the best of my ability and my interpretation and assumptions, these are the numbers. And if that's correct, it's nuts. This is why I've said to you, stop moving. Because you want to have enough coins inside of your vault so that you can do that. I've got to tell you that, okay, so you know that we had limits before. There was only so many Dascoins that you could move on a daily basis based on your license from your vault to the hot wallet. So, and then the company decided to remove limits, and it was already too late for some. Some people have already moved a lot. And so what I believe that they are going to do, again, this has not been confirmed, not 100%, but I think they will introduce a functionality that will allow us to move back the coins back from your hot wallet into your vault. Just so that you can do that. I'm pretty sure that they would do that. Why wouldn't? And the reason for this, okay, now, why would they, let me just drop this, because these are the numbers that you want to see, the bottom ones. Why would they do this? That is a big question. Why would the company decide to give every single person who participates in those contracts this many Dascoins? The answer is simple. They want to restrict or remove temporarily, again, depending on terms, how many Dascoins are out there in circulation. Because if the demand is high, but the supply is restricted, the price of Dascoin is going to be significantly higher. So because of this program that they've introduced, the company Dascoins ensures that there's going to be that, and I'm trying to be very, very, very kind of careful when I talk about prices, etc. But you know where I'm going with this? When you've got so many, just like with the markets, that the examples I've given, when you know that the demand is high because of the ecosystem, what Dascoin's building, DasPay, Das chains, smart contracts, again, blockchain as a service and all that, we've got a huge ecosystem here. If you know that, okay, these are all the coins that have been minted, all of them are in circulation, the demand is okay, but you've got 4 of them, you've got quite a large number. Then you know that the price is going to be right here. But if, because of these, you're taking some coins out of the circulation and the demand is here and growing over time because the ecosystem is expanding, people are willing to pay a lot more for each Dascoin. This is what the company has done. And they are... Another one is that they're buying themselves some time because they know that, okay, there's going to be quite a bit more of Dascoins potentially that will be later on introduced into the circulation when those contracts expire. But at least they've got 2, 3, 5 years before this happens to allow them to grow the ecosystem. So the demand when Dascoin has several hundreds or thousands of corporate clients, then you've got millions of users that use DasPay, smart contracts, and other technologies within the ecosystem. Again, we're going to be at a completely different level when it comes to price. And just imagine that you bought yourself... I haven't got the license chart in front of me, to be honest. I might actually display it so that you can see what the offer is still for this month. Again, on Monday, the bonus cycles could go away. We don't know. It's the week prior to the event in London. Guys, just 10,000 Dascoins you need in order to participate in that first contract. So pay attention to what each license is offering. If you haven't got Dascoins just yet, study the ecosystem, learn, and rather than just buying that small license, again, if you can, consider buying a bigger one so that you can actually participate in this straight away. If you are already inside of Dascoin and you have your validator, consider buying more. Whilst Dascoin is still cheap on the internal exchange, consider buying more. If you have your validator already to hand and you've purchased your license, you've verified your phone and KYC, get into Das Exchange and buy more Dascoins so that you have at least 10,000. Maybe push for 100,000, and if you are a larger license holder, go for the top one. Again, it's the commitment. You are committing that because you can't touch them. Once you move, they will be frozen. You cannot touch those Dascoins. They will be there, and only once this term expires, you will be able to take your Dascoins out. Okay, so I've talked about the mid to long-term holders. Of course, this is for loyal. And imagine what this would do to the growth of the ecosystem and the network, where the companies every 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks is rewarding those advocates or customers that are loyal to the brand. What will then they be able to do when it comes to actually introducing others to the business, explaining, doing all sorts of presentations? Again, this is creating that loyalty where the company is giving something, and then the advocates, customers, will almost feel obligated to also give something back as well. Guys, that is not it, of course. So we've talked about this. Last one now, the rollover. Again, go into the white paper to read it, but essentially, I'm actually tempted to read it out to you because I think it's a short one. Yes, it is. It's a short paragraph. I'll read it. Okay, rollover. This is even better, guys. This is actually even better. An extra incentive is provided to each contract holder for agreeing to commit to an additional term prior to the expiration of the current term. By rolling over their contract, the contract holder will get 2 shares of the reward pool rather than just 1, as would normally be the case. Each subsequent commitment will be accompanied by an additional share of the pool. So upon agreeing to a second rollover, the contract holder would receive 3 shares rather than a normal single share during that upcoming term. Each rollover agreement adds another reward pool share throughout the terms of the upcoming contract. Okay. So we know about this, another sheet. So that I'm hoping that you get it, but just in case. So again, you've got a blockchain. You've got the blockchain of Dascoin, and Dascoins come from the blockchain. So you've got 3 different pools. You've got the voting, ledger, and master contract, deep vote contract pools. So again, this one pays 10% every week, this one pays 6% every 2 weeks, this one pays 3% every 3 weeks. Then you've got different number of people inside, but whatever the amount of Dascoins, if you have 1,000 people in here, this is divided by, this amount of Dascoins is being divided by 1,000, because everyone has 1 share. But if you've decided to roll over, so let's say you go for the first 2 years. It's 2018, you go for the first 2 years. In 2020, just before your term is about to expire, you say, I would like to roll this over. Then, instead of you having just 1 share, you're actually going to have 2 shares. You're going to have 2 shares. So the total number of shares in the pool will increase from 1,000 to 1,001. So instead of you, so how would this translate to this sheet? This is the same for every single one of these contracts. It's exactly the same. So I'm just going to explain it using this example. So if this pool receives 1,058,400 Dascoins, if the voting pool receives this many Dascoins every single week, we're going to divide that. This should say shares rather than people. Let's say there are now 1,001 shares rather than 1,000, because your position is worth now double the value, because you've got your single share plus another share because you've rolled. So we're going to divide that by 1001, that means that every single person will be receiving 1057 Dascoins, but you're going to receive 2 of them because you've got 2 shares, so you're going to multiply that by 2. That means that every single week you will actually be getting, rather than just 1000 Dascoins, 1057, 2114 Dascoins, because you're doing the second time. You're rolling over. You've decided to double the term, your commitment. So over a period of 2 years, of those extra 2 years, additional 2 years, we're going to multiply that by 104, because that's how many payouts. That means that you're going to get extra 220,000 Dascoins, extra on top. So you've already received your initial coins, 110,000 in total from your first 2 years, and on top of that, another 220,000 nearly for your second 2-year period. The same applies to every single one. If you're rolling over again for another 2 years, so that's 6 years altogether, you're going to have 3 shares of this pool. Guys, nuts. Nuts. If this is not making you excited about Dascoin, I don't know what will. I know it's a little bit technical. I know it's a little bit longer. But these long videos, guys, I had to explain it all. Because there's so much value, I'm hoping. Guys, be sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you can get this sort of information free of charge, delivered through a notification to your inbox. Share this with others. This is extremely powerful. I'm sure that this would encourage quite a few to take some action. Guys, we're just a few days away from Dascoin going on public exchanges in London. There's never been a better time to actually now join this fantastic opportunity. Guys, that's it. That's Arthur coming to you with Dascoin Academy, your best source of news and education on Dascoin. And I will see you in another video. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.